So there are 3 steps to this. Right? The first step is the ability to be able to find common ground.
Okay.
Right? As much as the person wants to jump into the topic of the day, meaning the business, you have to refrain from that. Right?
Yeah.
You have to show up on your human side rather than your business side first.
Okay.
Right? So you really have to start by first finding common ground. What's common ground? Common ground is something
Football,
the weather, the news, and the activities of the day, and so on and so forth. So find a common ground
without it being like staged.
Right, without it being staged. And
I guess that authenticity throughout this is a given. If we're following a script, it's over.
And in order to be able to show up as if it was not staged, we actually have to do step 2, right?
Yeah.
And step 2 is keep that conversation on the same topic. So if we start talking about football, you have to keep the topic of football.
That's going to be tough for me. I only know this much.
Right.
I better not go there.
So when you initiate a discussion, right, you ask about how's the weather, how was your weekend, things like that, and say, I've just been to Pajero Dunes, and I had a great time swimming with dolphins. And you said, you know what, I've been there before. I've done that, and I really understand how you feel. See, the step 2 is where now you show up as, you know what, I understand how you what you are. I understand, I feel what you do.
Probably saying, and I know how you feel, isn't the way to do that, though. It's probably really something...
Showing, yeah.
And that you experience that. You
that's
have
right,
that sense of like, oh, this person gets me.
Sure, yeah.
That's the empathy piece.
Yeah, so not so much the saying, but it's at least a strategy to position yourself to keep to the same topic, right? So that we have something in common. Okay. Now, the third step to this thing is to then slowly move into the discussion of the business. And when you do that, you have to be able to show up as someone who is not quick to push the sale, but someone who truly wants to understand what your challenges are, what the client's challenges are.
So I guess if you have built this much relationship, you can then talk this much business.
Yeah.
But the big mistake is like we have this much relationship and somebody tries to jump to this business.
Right. And so you see, when we talk about connecting, the connecting is not about putting a question out there for your customer. So what challenges are you facing? It's not the question, right? It's a comfort level where we're naturally talking about life. It's talking about what's common between us, and eventually you come to that point where the customer feels comfortable enough to speak more than you do. See, the key thing here is to get your customer to speak more than you do.
Yeah.
Right? The rule of thumb here is to speak 2 times less than you listen.
2 ears and 1 mouth.
That's right. So really, if I were to summarize this whole approach here on the connecting stage, the connecting stage is so crucial because it's the precursor to the next step of the selling process. If you do not get your customer comfortable enough to speak more than you speak, you really have a challenge. Because oftentimes salespeople, right, the tendency is that, why are they salespeople?
I'm going to tell you the whole thing.
Yeah, because they are people that probably can articulate very well. They're probably aggressive. They are positive. They are very optimistic and autonomous, and they just show up as people that's energetic.
Yes.
And that's the problem, isn't it? Because where's the empathy?
Yeah.
Where's that? Let's slow down and let's build a relationship with the customer at a level that they are comfortable with.
And now, if we're genuinely curious, and we come into that actually trying to learn from the customer,
that's right,
as opposed to teach the customer, it's going to really change the relationship.
So yeah, really. I mean, in the end, my barometer is simple. To know whether I failed or did really well in this stage, is that how much has the customer told me? Did I listen more or did I speak more? Right. So that's the barometer then. Right. So and if you can do that well, your next step to the next phase of selling process becomes much easier.